In this tutorial, we'll cover the tool called Lofted Boss and Base. The Lofted Boss and Base is a tool used to create shape between two different planes, each of which will contain a defined shape by themselves. Okay. Um, Before using the Lofted Boss and Base, we need to make sure that we have at least two or three different planes that we want to work with. Okay. So let's start with the top plane itself here. I'm just gonna do is right click on it and make it show so that it's always visible here. And we will also create a few more reference planes for the sake of this example. So I'm going to the reference plane, selecting plane and selecting the top plane here. Okay, say this is 100 millimeters away from the first one. Okay, um, I'll be creating another reference plane, selecting the plane number one. Let's say this is going to be 50 millimeters away from our original plan. Okay, and click OK. Okay, so we will start our sketch from the top plane. Okay, so what we're going to do, select the top plane, right click on it and select the normal tool so that we know where we're working on. Then the next thing we're going to do is select the top plane, right click on it, click sketch. Okay, now we're going to create a rectangle. I'm going to do is a center rectangle. Say something like this. Let's give it a dimension. Let's say this is 50 by 50 here. Okay, once done, we're going to click exit sketch. Okay, this is the first thing we have on our top plane. Next is plane number one. So now on this one we will draw a different, I guess a different sketch. So on plane number one, right click on it and click sketch. And I'm planning on drawing a circle which has a dimension of, let's say, 30. Okay, done. Now we're gonna exit the sketch, and for the last plane, which is plane number two, let's say I'm gonna copy our original sketch back from top plane itself. So I'm gonna select is the sketch one that I created at the beginning, and I'm gonna select this thing called offset entities. Oops, my bad. Um, we're gonna select the convert entities, and so it will create the exact thing as it is. I'm going to exit the sketch, rotate it so that you can see all three of the planes here. Straightforward. I will do one more thing. I will add one more thing is I'm going to create okay, before doing that, let's see how the Lofted Boss and Base works. So on the feature tab, we will have this thing called Lofted Boss and Base. Select that, and we will need to select the profile. So the three profiles we have is this one, then this one, and then this one. As you can see, it has created the object based on the profiles we had throughout the three different planes. We can also change some features of it, so which is, as you can see here, it is just diverging from this point, diverging from this point. One might say, hey, this might be a little unstable. If we are planning on using as a vise, for example, we might want to have some stability around the bottom or the base field itself. So why not make them a little perpendicular here and then go to the convergence and then again diverge before making it perpendicular again. So we started our sketch from this corner, which was the top plane. Then we ended it on plane number two, right? So for the start plane, let's say we're gonna go here on the start and end constraints. and select it to normal to profile. So this is the profile. The bottom portion will have a normal profile to this. So if you select that, as you see, it has created a perpendicular and then started going into a convergence space before going again diverging it. You can do the same thing with the end constraint, which is the end profile. And as you see, the shape has changed quite a bit. Okay. And once you're done selecting all this, click OK, and you're done. And this is how your profile looks like based on the design you have created using Lofted Boss and Base. We can also have a different fun with the whole thing. Okay, so I'm clicking Control Z to undo the Lofted Boss and Base. And now we can add a few type of different constraints on it. So let's take one of the perpendicular planes, which is the front plane to the original plane. So right click on it and I'm selecting this normal tool. Okay. And then I'm going to open up a new sketch here. So one of the fun things we can do is select how the shape takes place. So as we already seen that it was taking somewhat around a divergence from this point to this point here. But let's say you decided, hey, maybe let's do something like this. We don't want to do a hard divergence, but let's do something like this. So this is the profile you want to create on this side of it. I'm creating a center line here just for the sake of my sanity. And I'm using this mirror entities. Okay, so what I'm going to mirror is this profile again on the other side. Click OK, exit sketch. Now we know what type of things we have. We can also create another profile of the other perpendicular plane, as you can see. So I'm going to make it as normal and create the sketch. Okay, let's say I will have a little something different this time. Selecting the sketch. I'm just going to make it go straight here and then straight here. I'm assuming, okay, yeah, this should be fine. And let's see, where's the mirror tool, axis tool, center line, I'm creating a center line again. And then I'll be using mirror entities to mirror this here. Okay, and then I just sketch. So now we have a different shape on different part of it, right? So let's go here again to Lofted Boss and Base. We select the profiles like before. Okay. Now, as if you notice carefully, we have some profiles also outside. So we will select this called the guide curves. Select this box here on the left, property manager, and select the guides that you want to follow. Okay, so this is one single guide and click OK. And now I'm gonna select the other one and click OK. So as you see, it is following the profile that you have created perfectly. Okay, so let's select the other side of it. Okay, and so this is the first one line and this is the second line. Click OK. And this is also the first line and the second line. Click OK. So basically what you did was you guided the shape on the sides based on particular design. So if you have different planes and you're creating something on the lofted design, you can change how the paths are going. If you want to make it more curvy, use some curvy sketch tools and select the profiles to do that. And once done, just click OK. It will create the profile for you. This is a weird design, but this was for the sake of example, and as you can see, this is how it will look like based on what we have so far.